Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. As well on the north side as the Gray Sky Max, we got VulcanGray. Perfect. As well on the south side as the Orange Star Olaf, we got Sujeed. I boosted that name well enough. What am I thinking as well? Yeah, my mind's a little bit fried at the moment. When it comes to this map, it is a triple-based map with one airport here. We do also got harbors here, which is in a somewhat decent position, so battleships are a possibility, but not likely because that'll be an expensive investment for a powerful static emplacement. And especially for Max, who's also direct unit specialist, so maybe a Olaf battleship, but unlikely still. Both players do have a city captured as well as alternative to the no lab income of, well, the labs. But it's also in the corner on the opponent's side of the map, which is uncapturable. There's no shores or a transport to drop off anything there. Either way, let's go and get started. Of course, just initial infantry capturing phase. Both players trying to eye for their third base, neutral base first. Remember, third is first. We do now have a Olaf recon plotted view. There's a lot of plains here, not as many roads as one would like for harassment, but the shores are effectively roads for the recon, so maybe it's not too bad. Charging way forward, do have a recon here from Max for maximum recon. 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like Olaf's recon still doesn't spawn anything. Could just push forward to the forest. Does spot a whole bunch of stuff there. Has another recon up here, as well as an Olaf artillery piece. Max goes for another recon here. Probably tank this turn. Does get trapped. Now Max has wild tank. He could take time to interrupt this capture, or could take time to shoot the recon there. Probably a good idea to shoot the recon. Another tank, infantry. And does get a shot there, doing actually really bad. How bad was that? A little bit low ruck. It's more of a 50-50 chance of it giving 4 points of damage. Looks like he lost the coin flip. And Max, let's see, at 7 health, rolled max luck. Max rolled max luck as retaliation. So pretty bad luck there by Olaf, and good luck by Max. And does get good retaliation damage there. Yeah, that was really bad luck by Olaf. Artillery piece pushing way forward. Got the comm tower captured up by both players now. Olaf tank here. Max has got double tank on the field. You've got a secondary artillery piece by Olaf. The long game goes on, the better Olaf will do for CO powers. Let's see, I always have to remind myself on some of these COs. Max does have his power provides some +1 movement. Yep. +1 movement with his power. Superpower provides +2 movement, and his attack goes from 20%, 30% to 50%. Double tank by Max. So Olaf is probably trying to go for slower, more static units, trying to draw out the game, while Max is going to be for aggressive units, because it probably would be better for him to be aggressive rather than defensive against Olaf. Because every time Olaf casts his superpower, it's guaranteed to do a minimum of 20% damage to his opponent's army. And that's just a minimum. Does get good shot there. As only the minimum, let's just compare it, take one infantry unit. Cast a Blizz on it, goes from 10 HP to 8 HP. So 200 funds of damage. But let's say there's two 5 health infantry units. Both of them goes from 5 HP to 3 HP, causing 400 damage rather than 200 damage. So it's just a 20% minimum, with likely to cause a lot more than that. Good strike there. Olaf artillery piece down south. Maybe we'll strike some good infantry. Max probably should not push forward his infantry nearby since he knows about the tank. Got multiple Olaf battlecopter field. Max not deployed out any battlecopters. He does have a recon there. Or not recon, anti-air. For maximum anti-air. Interrupts the capture there. Does have a tank here to support. Does put the artillery piece there. No one can put the infantry in the range of the artillery piece. Anti-air, recon, battlecopter, infantry. So that lab will probably be interrupted this turn. Does use the recon there. Does not use the artillery piece there. Pushes the artillery piece on top of the lab. Gets trapped. Some good small engagements there for Olaf. Max does have 2 tanks here. Olaf only has the 1. Battlecopter rotating around. That'll help him even out the playing field down south. This anti-air could go. He knows about the battlecopter up here. So this anti-air is probably going to head up there, which means this one may respawn not in time against this battlecopter. Gets a kill there. Taking some more victories down south. Interrupts the capture entirely. Right now it's Olaf only has 16,000 funds. Max is 22. This is actually quite massive. I wasn't paying attention to this, assuming the early capture game is just pretty even, but Olaf is really falling behind the capturing game. That is quite bad. Down by 6,000. Which is effectively 25% less or 33% more, depending which angle we look at. Trying to capture some of these properties now. This looks like he will, but this one flipping wood will be a good first step. This one at least be a good bait for the artillery piece. Finish off that unit there. Good first strike there. ATR is pretty far away. Though the battlecopter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Of course, a lot of those stuff nearby, so charging forward like that. The battlecopter can't range anything. We need the superpower to get range on the other battlecopter. But that'd probably be a death sentence. Max force activated, gain +1 movement range for all direct units, barring foot soldiers. And increase the power from 20% to 30%, so +10 for activating the power and superpower. And +1 movement range. We have a blizzard available, probably not going to be popped. Gets a good strike there on the artillery piece. The extra 1 range is being very useful. Battlecopter can't really do much for the nearby anti-air, but probably just sack itself on the tank. Artillery piece can finish off that tank as well. Infantry, battlecopter, tank. Looks like Olaf's pulling back everything up there. Probably a good idea. Tank falling back. Gets a good strike there, the battlecopter. The anti-air is in range, out of vision range though. Still out of vision range. Also double artillery piece here, so if the anti-air strikes from this angle, it will be struck by the artillery piece. Of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Looks like this artillery piece is coming out of vision range, so you may misplace this anti-air. Of course, it doesn't see this other one there. Good first strike there. Does not misplace the anti-air, so takes out both battlecopters and looks like it's going to be for free. So this anti-air is maybe in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is in range. Olaf now has a superpower available, which also makes Max particularly slow next turn. Max will end the turn with 110 on the field. Olaf starts 75. This is effectively going to knock out about 22,000 funds at minimum. Of course, we won't see until the next turn, thanks to the Fog of War. Does take out that tank there. Won't be able to stop the anti-air from engaging the battlecopter. Takes out that anti-air there. Olaf does have good presence down the center of the map, but nothing really here to exert pressure versus the anti-air of all things. Does have an anti-air of his own, of course. Could see a max force this turn, but with the snow, maybe not a good idea. Just take smart engagement and just reorganize. He starts the turn with 81,000 versus 82, so pretty even, but he still has a state-of-day income. Pops the max force. Let's see how he does. Good strike on the anti-air. He has still pretty good presence down here. Anti-air wins the fight. 2 artilleries will help slow him down. Economic advantage is still in favor of Max, but only by a smaller mountain right now. Recon, infantry, battlecopter. Artillery piece takes out the recon, but nothing to threaten the tank nor the anti-air. It is starting to clean up the northern part of the map. Olaf has a good number of tanks up here, but there's a battlecopter. Anti-air nowhere nearby. Tank, infantry. So this battlecopter can get some good work done. Of course, now this tank can strike the artillery piece and knock it out. 4 capture progress left on that property as well. That could be flipped, and that's going to be big against Olaf. Takes out the artillery piece. We've got a good number of max tanks here. We've got a couple of tanks here by Olaf. So you could win the tank fight, but the problem is the battlecopter. Medium tank infantry. It's going back down day to day, but it looks like Max is ahead at the moment. Good strike there. Artillery piece get a good strike there. These artillery pieces are doing some good work. Finish off that tank there with the other tank. Artillery piece pushing up north. Anti-air heading up north as well. Anti-air tank infantry. Ends the turn with 96. Max starts with 84. It's back down to day-to-day changes. Looks like this one last despicable neutral property on the map, barring this lab. Oh, there's another one right there. Lose is not available. Probably not likely to see it. Good strikes there. He is lacking anti-air down here as well. Tank infantry. Artillery gets a good strike there. Olaf artillery has been quite good so far this game. 1 anti-air, 2 battlecopters. All he needs to do is make sure this tank does not strike this anti-air. It's on top of 4, so it should be fine enough now. Get some good strikes there. Try and wound everything before the max blast or max force comes on in, which I think he succeeded. Got a 2 health, soon be 4 health tank there. 1 health tank, 2 health recon. So overall, Max is not doing all too well down here. And he's actually losing quite a bit up here. And starting from 91 versus 77. He's with a state-of-day income, he can pull slightly ahead, but still going back and forth. Battlecopter up here still getting some good work done. Wait, what? Oh, that was a 4 health tank. Or a 5 health tank. Olaf now has a superpower available, so some of these units need to get on properties. The medium tank will be whittled down. Anti-air tank. And here comes the Winter Fury. Additionally, some of these units are actually at 1% health rather than 1 health. Max force now available. Artillery piece falls back, knocks out that tank. And here, finish off the healthier battlecopter. Some of these artillery pieces, this artillery piece shows the low ammo indication, but in this game, ammo's generally not an issue. If the unit actually generally runs out of ammo, it did some good work. I sort of like how Days of Ruin made it so ammo capacity as well as fuel capacity is lower, so it makes it a bit more of an integral part of the game. And even then, it's still not pops up all too often. And max force, max blast, all depends if he needs a +1 or +2 movement range probably. Pops the max force, which allows him to follow up punch with another max force as well. Howdy. Getting some damage there. Most of the chat window's a little bit too high. Give me a moment. There we go. That's good enough. Battlecopter gets knocked out. Got a couple tanks here. Property being captured. A despicable neutral property still. I wonder if anybody gets that reference. Oh well. So that infantry unit there. Finishes some of these outlying units there. Takes the battlecopter. Tank here. Wounded, but on top of property. Out of vision. Stops. No, does not interrupt it. You see it has 2 capture progress left. And now it's stopped. Permanently. For now. Artillery piece, battlecopter, and double base skip. He has 2,000 funds. He could have got double infantry. I'm not sure why he went for double base skip. But Olaf has been doing quite good with these artillery pieces. This tank is pretty much dead. Bit of joint capture is necessary on this one. Good medium strike, tank strike there. Max force is now available. Of course, his turn's pretty much used up, so you can follow up with another max force next turn. But this artillery piece is in range. Artillery piece here is not in range of the medium tank. Good strikes there. And here, knocks out the tank there. Takes out all these outlying units. This tank cannot range his infantry units, so the capturing progress will be reserved. Next turn it'll be down to 8, then be merged to become 8. So math works, checks out. Good strike there, takes out that unit. Artillery piece gets on top of the lab. Recon tank. And let's see, max starts to turn 22,000. Still has a 4,000 income lead, which actually is quite significant. But he has only 60,000 in the field versus 111. Of course, he has still stated 8, but he's about 2 turns behind. That's getting catastrophic levels of losses. Tank, anti-air. Spends all of his monies. And there you go. Merge and 8 capture progress left. Math. I don't know why, I just sort of like that. It's like perfectly ready to capture. I amuse myself too much. Recon there. Of course, got the max blast available. Battlecopter, infantry. This max blast is probably Max's last chance to get back in the game, but of course he has no vision down here, and not really much vision up here. I don't know, this will probably not go good. He can strike for 1 tank, he probably can't pop the max blast this turn. Let's find out what he does. Does pop the full max blast superpower. Takes the battlecopter. Good strike there on the anti-air. This tank may be able to take out the artillery piece. But there's already another artillery piece here. This artillery piece, and of course a battlecopter. Does got one of the artillery pieces there. This one, with 3 ammo remaining, is still perfectly fine. No, actually the max blast wasn't half bad. It's a good strike there, 2 health artillery piece. But we may see the Winter Fury. It doesn't really matter when he pops the Winter Fury, start, end, or middle of the turn. He just needs a little bit more damage, which is very likely, so we'll see the Winter Fury this turn. How about right now? Probably should have popped it before these engagements, because also increases power by plus 10%. This tank could have gone down with the Winter Fury. He's just not going for it? Is he waiting next turn? You got triple tank there. Pops it. I say he should have popped it immediately. Artillery, tank, infantry. He ends the turn with 90,000. Max starts the turn with 67. Max also has a decent amount of money stored on up. Oh, no, that's his day to day. He had to consume actually a lot for repairs. And some of these outlying forces. And how much is on that turn? 22,000. Has 2 artillery pieces in range. You know, this artillery piece, if it fires on this tank, we'll probably need to start eyeing for some resupply rows soon. So maybe have the recon finish off. Infantry could probably help finish it off, and then put the artillery piece there on the city just to get it resupplied. Because 1 ammo remaining is actually something you should try to avoid. Also quite impressive how artillery piece getting down to 1 ammo. It's still at 2 ammo. Decides not to resupply it. Just eyes for a good positioning for it. If it gets down to 0 ammo, impressive. It's really hard for artillery piece to get out of ammo. But it's now out of life. Max getting some good comeback down here. It's been knocked out, drag out brawl so far. A lot of artillery pieces are slow. He needs more tanks overall in the field, I would say. He's lacking tanks up north and south. Max has a massive number of tanks. Battlecopters wouldn't be half bad as alternative as well. Get some good strikes there. He's been doing very well with the artillery pieces. Don't get me wrong on that, but Max can easily turn things around with a good wave of tanks. Gets trapped there. And this tank artillery piece is going to be good bait. Probably for the 6 health tank. A lot of good targets up there, which this artillery piece, if he attacks from this angle, he will be out of range of the artillery piece. Now that 6 health tank will likely go down next turn. Does get trapped. Max is starting to really turn around, looks like. Tank recon. Max ends with 90,000. Olaf starts to turn with 77, so it's going back down day to day. Max has really turned around. He did make that max blast exactly what he needs. Does pull around the anti-air. He allows his battlecopter more free reign. Finish off that unit there. Multiple battlecopters heading up north. He may want to get a battlecopter over here, at least more regular tanks as well. Recon gets a good strike there. Puts a tank on top of the forest. Battlecopter, infantry. Goes for another artillery piece. Battlecopter is effectively knocked out. Another Winter Fury is almost available. Same thing with Max Blast. These superpowers are almost costing the same amount of energy since Max has popped his power and superpower more often. Good strike there. Maybe by the end of the turn we will see a Winter Fury. Max Blast available. Does knock out some losses there. And there's the Winter Fury. Pop it immediately. And now we got another Winter Fury. Max Blast available. Yes, some assets make use of the Max Blast, but of course Winter will slow them down a little bit. Ends turn of 92. Max starts a turn of 51, which is not too much. Pops superpower. Good strike there. Interrupts some captures. Is it going to be a resign? I don't know why that seemed like a resign move. He ends turn of 68. Olaf starts with 88, so he's about 2 turns ahead now. And that Max Blast did not accomplish all too much like the last Max Blast. I don't know, it just feels like the longer the game goes on, the more likely it's going to favor for Olaf. But now the superpowers are much harder to come by, and Max does have much more accessible power, usable power than Olaf. Recon, Battlecopter. Battlecopter, anti-air, infantry. Battlecopter's a good strike. Anti-air on anti-air. Get some damage there. Now got the artillery piece in range, able to support these units no problem. That's artillery piece push way forward as well. You could try merging them in order to get some funds back and a full health artillery piece, but he is going to do some repairs. Olaf's been doing very well with those artillery pieces. Tank, artillery, infantry. Takes out the battlecopter, interrupts the capture. This property could be flipped next turn. We'll stop it from being... No! 2 capture progress left, 2 HP left, so it will not be interrupted any further. The flip will happen. And there we go. Now Olaf has finally taken an economic lead. Battlecopter goes down. Battlecopter effectively gets knocked out. He doesn't want him to run. He can pop the Blizzard to reduce his move range by half. Good strike there. Knocks out the anti-air. Tank, anti-air. Pops some max force. This may be his last power of this game. He starts a turn with 39,000 versus 115. He's falling severely behind. I think he may resign this turn. It's a good strike there. No, he does not resign. It feels, I don't know, a way for Max to get back in the game. He is pretty far badly. I don't think he can get to flip this game around any further. And Max Force didn't get a whole lot of value going, and now he's taking about as many losses as he deflected last turn. And Olaf's power to get another Winter Fury. And does go ahead and resign there. This is VulcanGray saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.